Good morning. What's up, people? Again, shout out to my city of, not my personal city, but shout out to one of my new favorite cities, Detroit. I actually picked this up in the airport, Detroit versus everybody. So, eh, um, Detroit is probably, I think, one of the most underrated cities. I think it has a lot of aspects about it that's hood. And the people in Detroit, you all know your hood is a motherfucker. But that's a good thing. I don't run away from that shit. I run to it because I think it's a lot of opportunity there to really make some good connections with good people, get some good food. You all got some good weed. And, everything is not all about, you know, the highlights. Sometimes you got to get real urban with motherfuckers. That's how you got to do it. What's up, everybody? The topic of this video today is something that I have had personal struggles with in my past. I don't really talk about my life a lot because I don't think that's your business. But I think at the end of the day, I think there's lessons that I think we can all learn from, our journeys and share those with people. See if it makes a difference or not. It's up to you. If you want to take the gems that are being dropped, take the nuggets that are being traded. What's up, everybody? I want everybody who's coming on, if you can see me, share this live. Share it live, people. All right. Get your ass off the clearance rack. Get off the clearance rack. I've heard this expression that I'm actually going to borrow from a comic, a woman who I think is absolutely incredible. She is a New Yorker. She spent a little bit of time in Queens of Brooklyn, but I gotta say, when I heard her say this expression, I was like, yeah, that shit, that's some fire shit. I gotta actually kind of expand on it a little bit because she gets into her comic rage and goes in. But I wanted to kind of put my spin on it and kind of borrow that point and make a larger point. That statement resonated with me. Get off the clearance rack when it comes to your dating life, when it comes to your self-worth, when it comes to what you, as a person, feel like you deserve. Feel like in terms of your value. What you feel like, just I guess in terms of just who you want to be, who you can be, all of that shit. It was tough for me to realize that I had done that before. And I don't want to make this a race thing, but what I will say that was a contributing factor. We all go through shit. We all have shit that's in our lives that kind of keeps us in a certain state of mind when it comes to pride. And always having to challenge and question that in order for us to be better. And then when we come out of it, we realize the decisions that we've made were not in our best interest. Nah. And it wasn't in our partner's or our relationship interest. It wasn't in our family's interest. And it wasn't in our community's interest. These were self-destructive interests. And when you find out that's what the shit you doing, you find out, damn, I put myself on the clearance rack. I really put myself in a position where I just didn't value myself. I put myself in a position where I felt like these were things and these were decisions and these were relationships and these were connections and these were sexual escapades. Lots of different shit. Lots of different shit I actually went through. Lots of different shit that I really put myself through unnecessarily. A lot of bad choices. And then when I woke up one day and I realized what I had done, a lot of people don't realize we really hurt ourselves more. We do more damage to ourselves by not being present, by not honoring our voices, by not honoring the potential that we have to be better. What's up, Daryl? But we gravitate to the bullshit. We gravitate to that bullshit. And the crazy part is that it's an instinct. There's a desire in you that wants to be better and do better because that is an evolutionary part of your soul, of your essence, of your humanity in some instances. But why is it we don't prioritize that voice and that need? Because we haven't centered ourselves. We haven't gotten to a point where all of this shit that happens around us with people, it takes on a stronghold. It hooks itself into you. And before you know it, you become a tampon to the dysfunction. You become a shit stain to everybody else's dysfunction. And that's the thing about people in particular, because I'm saying I want to make this about dating. When you put yourself on a clearance rack, you enter into relationships, you court, you date, you attract people to you who will do nothing useful for you. Now see, when we get to a point we evaluate our relationships in life and we recognize, we realize, and we get to a point where we determine, wow, like none of these people have truly made an investment in my life. None of these people wanted to. They were out for what they could get. Users and abusers is what some people call them. That's the clearance rack. That is the clearance rack. If everyone is trying to not take their time to get to know you, to see what they can invest, if you're not asking those right questions, if you're not vetting them, if that person is not letting you into their life, you are on the clearance rack. Get off the clearance rack when it comes to dating. When it comes to who you allow yourself to connect with. When it comes to what you allow yourself to put up with. Because let me tell you something, as men, there is an expectation that people can say anything to us. As if we don't have the opportunity to think about what it means to be vulnerable, passionate, interested, emotional. Because emotional, a lot of times with men, and in particular black men, we get a lot of heat on being emotional. But just like with any form of energy, if you stifle it, that shit is going to explode. The volatility is never recognized as emotional. Rage, outrage, anger, destructive behavior. All of that shit is emotional. Every bit of it. So, even though those things are all symptoms of the clearance rack, let me tell you what it means to be able to get off of it. That means spending some time with yourself, whether it's through meditation, prayer, whatever it is that you are here to do, because these are about tools. This is not about right or wrong. These are about tools that's going to get you up off there, right? Once you center yourself so you can start to do a self-inventory, now it's time to do the work. Now it's time to do the work. And the work looks like doing what the fuck you say you got to do for you. And sometimes you got to tell a lot of people no. You got to tell a lot of people no. And don't be afraid to, when you see someone that really isn't for you, say not. Like, don't lead people on. I think that's the worst thing that you could do. That's the worst thing you can do, is lead people on. And a lot of times, the people that we are leading on, these are the people that put us on that are responsible for keeping us on the clearance rack. Because the thing is, when you're on this dating clearance rack, all of this shit is discounted for a reason. Nobody wants it. It's not a hot seller. It's old news. The practices and the shit that used to happen back in the 90s and the 2000s and the 2010s, teens, that shit is over with. If you were dating with that old school mindset, you were on the clearance rack. That's what it is. I understand a lot of people are traditional and you want to keep those values. The values are templates. The values are templates. Why do you think a lot of people are walking away from the church today? Because you're trying to take a political strategy for what happened 2,000 years ago and think it's supposed to be relevant today? It makes no sense. And not everybody's going to subscribe to that. Why do you think there's over 4,000 religions? Because there are more than one templates, which are tools to get you where you got to go and get you what you ultimately need to be for self-evaluation and healing, as someone said in the comments. I've never dated or been in a relationship, so I'm listening. Okay, well, you know what? I'm also, I can give you some life coach lessons. Feel free to inbox me for a rate. Because I don't do this shit for free. This is the most you're going to get, right? I think also that, you know, when I talk about how do you stay off the clearance rack, yes, you have to be responsible for telling people no, but you also got to be realistic about who's eligible to purchase, quote unquote, which means to invest in your life. Who's eligible? Once you figure out who you are on the other side of that healing, how do you determine who's eligible to not put you back on the dating clearance rack again? If these people are not willing to invest in you, if they're not willing to make sure that you have a long-term setup, are you okay? Are you good? Is it actionable? You're going to be back on that clearance rack again. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed this message. Please share it. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.